It's been about 2.5 years when we started the accommodation review process, which went very smoothly. We brought the two schools communities together, talked about both schools being prohibitive to repair, and at that time the state of the enrollment, they were both schools were not full to capacity, and the committee together, made up of representatives from both schools, thought it only made sense to bring the two schools together and build a brand new facility that would result in good learning. At the end of the day, the students were always kept at the center of all decisions and of all the planning, and this is the result when you bring a group together and you're working collaboratively.
Was there a lot of resistance, or was it, did the parents and officials just know that this was the only way to go if you're going to stay alive?
Pretty much so. As I mentioned, with the enrollments at both of the schools were declining. The schools were not at the capacity, were not at full occupancy, and they were both French immersion schools. They were within about 4 kilometers of each other, and they determined to bring the community together. And when you've got more students in a school, there are more programs, there's more staff. There's a lot that can be done when the school's a little larger than small schools are wonderful, but there is a point where having more students and becomes a more viable program for the students. And for funding, and not to mention that both schools were prohibitive to repair, which means that they both needed to be replaced. However, given the fact that they were so close, they were not at full occupancy, funding would be provided for one school, at which point the accommodation review process began. We talked about consolidation right from the get-go, and a lot of the work was done on how to maintain, how to build one new school culture from 2 existing school cultures. So it was really an interesting process to be a part of, and certainly a memorable one.
When you look at that, having the land already, just taking down Sacred Heart and building a new one, that helps in the process somehow.
We did look at other sites as well. We examined with both sites, St. Joseph and Sacred Heart, and did a feasibility study on both, full studies on both. We were also considering some other sites, but when we looked at both, this one just had all of the features that certainly met our needs, and so and also was the most feasible. So we decided to select this site, and from what we see, it's got a beautiful green. We're along the ravine here, the Mattawa Conservation Authority ravine, and we're on our way with our green initiatives as well. So it made sense, and it was most feasible.